All right, and welcome back to the Red, White, and Real podcast, Jarrett and I's show where we talk about the current issues in America. All right, you got a holiday?
We should have done a countdown before we started this. We should have done like a three, two, one
Oh,
because it's
wow.
National Countdown Day.
Oh,
We
wow,
really
you
screwed
got
that
me.
one up.
You got me. I was not, I thought you were actually talking about restarting it. I was like, nope, too late, buddy.
Nope, we're not doing that.
All right, it's also National Common Courtesy Day. So just open the door for someone. Something small today. Just open up the door, do something tiny. When you go and get your $20 Starbucks small coffee, make sure you tell them thank you. It's the small things.
Maybe leave a tip. Leave a tip.
Yeah,
As someone
we are in
who's been in
America.
the food industry, leave a tip.
Yeah,
It's also Twitter Day. Twitter was
it is.
made March 21st of 2006. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's old. like,
2006. Like I think of that as like MySpace. Like to me,
yeah,
I associate that long ago, like MySpace, and then like Facebook was like '07, and then Twitter to me is like 2012. Like
yeah. It
I'm
was
that
it was
far
dead
off.
at first. It was dead. Nobody used it, and still nobody really used it. I feel like until X, then it really started
It
kicking off.
depends. I
Yeah.
I think it was a weird thing
Hmm.
when social media became like a you're no longer just following your friends. Like MySpace and whatnot,
Yeah.
it legitimately was you followed like four celebrities and then everyone else you knew. Now when I'm
Yeah.
on X, I don't see any of my friends like tweets.
No.
It's all celebrities.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
true.
and I get why they do it. It probably has more engagement and whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's not what it used to be. Like
No, not at all.
same with Facebook. Facebook
Yeah.
legitimately was like my aunt, my mom, my dad, my friend, my
Yeah,
friend.
that's like all it is. It was made for family. Like you're here
Yeah,
to catch up on your family, not worry about what dumb things Kanye's tweeting today.
yeah. Like X also, I want to know your opinion on the like
Hmm.
that you basically need to like buy a membership to have like all the features of X. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't mind because it still functions fine. Like I use it every day for
Mhm.
hours a day, and it's like I haven't really noticed. Like the verification is nice and the membership's nice, but it's not like it's just an incentive to help raise revenue for a company. It's a free app.
True.
Every app that or anything that's free just drains money. Like that's why you look at like MMORPGs like World of Warcraft. They
Yeah.
cost $15 a month because those servers are crazy expensive. Like they can't do that with a free
Yeah.
game.
They
Like
can't trust people not to buy like in-game purchases or like
it's just yeah,
advertisements for
you just need
X.
money.
Like you
Like you
never
can't yeah.
it allows them also to like if someone's like we're gonna boycott X, it makes it so that it doesn't really matter. You almost have that membership program. You have that steady
Hmm.
income no matter what. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. It sucks. So being a small content creator, it
Hmm.
sucks for me because like none of my posts will go anywhere.
Because
So
you have to
I
buy your
do almost have
verification.
to spend. Yeah, I have to buy like a verification. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify that purchase where it's like, well, it's gonna help in the long term, but
Yeah, it will. Because you also, when you comment on stuff, your people at the check mark get put to the top. And they get
but
notified in a special area for the people. So they'll see it right
mhm.
away.
So also speaking about X,
Hmm.
we can go straight from that to Elon's other company, Tesla,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the fact that the left thinks it's okay to cause terrorist attacks on.
Yeah, literally firebombing it. Like, there's just, and they're like, well, it's dealership. It's not hurting people. And I'm like, there's literally cars that are there for a service because Tesla, you can't take them to just any mechanic. It has to go to a
Hmm.
Tesla mechanic. And typically they're at dealerships. But people, there was, I think it was Oregon or somewhere in like the Pacific Northwest over there. And yeah, a guy was sitting there. He was out of his car, thankfully, but somebody drove by and just started shooting it up. Like, just
Yep.
shooting up the Tesla. And it's like, why? Okay, like, I get you're mad at Elon, right? But, like, why are you sitting here hurting? Like, you're only hurting innocent people. Like, what does this guy that bought a Tesla deserve to have his car firebombed in the middle of the night?
Do
Like,
you see there's a TikTok going around of a guy who he's in his car and there's people like spray painting the Tesla like on the
yeah,
outside of the car. And finally he
yeah.
steps out and one of the people go, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't know you were black." Like it was a black owner to the Tesla, and they're like, "We would, sorry, we
Oh
would have
my.
never attacked you if we, like."
No, I haven't seen that, but that's crazy. Because yeah, I know, I believe that.
That's the mindset. Like,
yeah, it shouldn't matter if if you're vandalizing something, you're vandalizing something. Like, and then like I see some videos from the right that's saying like, there was a guy that was driving a truck, and you know how like when you rev a diesel truck, it has all the black shit come out of the exhaust, and he drove by, and I'm like, don't do that to the nice protesters. Like,
yeah, no,
they're just on the side of the street with signs. Let them stand there. Like, they're doing the right thing. Like,
everyone has a limit on something, and you see like you'll just assume like everyone assumes that everyone has roughly the same limit. Like everyone has the same about like self-defense. Like I know when I would consider self-defense logistical. Like I know when you're supposed to do it. But then you will talk to like 8 people and everyone will have like a different point where it becomes like allowed. And I feel like this is also like one of those situations where people will go like, yeah, we're allowed to do this because it's Elon, and Elon is close enough to Trump that makes this kind of attack on Trump, but it shouldn't be considered a terrorist attack because Elon's not the president. It's like you're going so far down the line here to try to justify it.
Yeah,
and
what
mind you,
okay,
they're
no,
attacking
go ahead,
dealerships. They did this back with the Rittenhouse case.
Yeah.
Rittenhouse was entirely because they went specifically for car dealerships because they're like, well, they have insurance. That doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, it's well, for domestic terrorism, it just has to be violence like that is got inspired by politics. Political violence is domestic terrorism in a way. Like it falls under it, and this is all just political violence. That's what this is. And then, so, like, January 6th, right? This ties in a little bit, because, like, there was bad people doing shit that day. There was people who weren't that bad. There were people that were just protesting. You know, like, they were just standing there. Like, there's good and there's bad. I'm not defending any, and, you know what I mean? But, like, so here we go. So, Democrats call that, and some of them have said it's the darkest day in American history. Completely forgetting about Pearl Harbor, 9/11, just forgetting about it. But now they're doing this. And they've been caught, and they're all blue-haired little skinny boys sitting here, or sorry, skinny boy girls. I don't really know.
They thems.
But yeah, I guess maybe they don't. I don't know. But
it must be like with colleges and stuff too. Something has to indoctrinate people into this mindset because I
don't. Yeah.
Even when Biden was in office, whatnot, like I don't see. You can see a little bit with the Bud Light, but it takes a lot for conservatives to even boycott something. And
yeah, like even
when they boycott something, it's a big deal.
Even they were boycotting Tesla back before because they just didn't want the electric vehicle mandate. You know, like they didn't want that stuff.
Boycotts are fine. Like I don't understand.
That's protesting. I like politics and I like protesting. Like protesting's good.
Can you ever imagine reading a story of like a conservative, like, firebomb someone's house because they knew they were drinking Bud Light?
Like, no, I would crazy.
I would never even like if I read that story, I would be like, okay, there's no way this is real.
The closest
but that's
thing
what
to
they're
violence,
doing right now.
Yeah, the closest thing to violence that we had was Kid Rock buying like 3 cases and just shooting them. Like, and he still bought them. Like,
people on the left are honestly trying to take that and go see, or the NFL jerseys. Like people were burning their NFL jerseys during the BLM stuff. And they're trying to take that and go like, oh, you see, you guys also caused did violent acts. And it's like, those are things that you own.
This is stuff we own. This is my stuff.
You're allowed to do it. If someone burnt their own Tesla or sold their Tesla, I don't even care about that. I think it's a little hypocritical that you guys are so pro-environment, and now you're going against the only electric cars on the market. That's a little weird to me, but...
A little bit.
But I also understand the priority list there, but...
Yeah, okay, so I have an article talking about the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She's doing some great work already. So she accuses 3 Tesla vandals of domestic terrorism after a string of attacks. So there's a bunch of stuff that's been going on around. So I'm not going to pull it up, but there's it's just a Tesla dealership, and on the front, you know, like you walk up the little steps, you go through the slider doors, you know, it says, fuck MU. I'm guessing they were going to finish Musk. Probably got in trouble, you know, somebody ran up. But that was in Colorado. Nothing too crazy there. But then, like, so Pam Bondi says, and this is her quote, let this be a warning. If you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars. I like that. She's standing down. She's saying,
Mhm.
like, if you do this, this is not protesting. This is terrorism, and we are not here for it. So the defendants, so whose cases are being brought in Colorado, Oregon, and South Carolina, are accused of using high-powered weapons and explosives to destroy property belonging to the Elon Musk-owned car company, Tesla, which has been targeted in recent weeks over his role in the Trump administration. That is crazy. So you probably saw the video in Vegas with the
Mhm.
dealership, just all of them on fire. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Dude,
Like,
the guy who did that, they have his name here or whatnot. He was 41 years old.
yeah,
That seems crazy to me that this isn't some like college kid. This is an
yeah,
adult, like, and like you said, it was in Vegas. It's technically a swing state.
yeah,
It's not like this is happening in hardcore liberal California. This is happening everywhere. But this is one thing I also hate. People are
yeah.
not good at protesting anymore.
No.
Like, you, and I hate giving people ideas, whatnot. But they're gonna write F Musk on there. Just put like F just Elon Musk, and then your whole slogan could just be F Like
Yeah,
right there, you have a catchy slogan, whatnot. Like th-
yeah,
this is something like people used to sit down and actually like before protests would spend hours doing.
yeah. Because they
And
cared.
now, yeah, now they just do basic shit like yell Black Lives Matter because they know you can't argue against it.
Yeah, it's also
Or
they just follow what they're told. Like some
yeah,
left
there's no
individual will be like, "This is bad," and they're like, "Oh, this is bad," and they just start going
that's
for
their
it.
entire anti-Israel stance. If you go up
Yeah,
and ever ask them, it's the same talking points over and over and over, and they have no idea anything about any of the neighboring countries of Israel. They
yeah.
can tell you everything about Israel, but if you even ask them what borders Israel, 95% of them couldn't tell you a bordering state. That bothers me.
Yeah, okay,
But
so yeah. Another thing, this is kind of, it dips down into that right before we get to the doxing website, you know?
okay.
So, Tim Waltz, lovely Tim Waltz, could have been vice president if Kamala didn't suck, but, he made a joke talking about how he has the stock app on his iPhone and how he looks at Tesla to be happy, because Tesla's down. It's not even down that much. In the past 6 months, it's down 0.7%. 1.76 points. That's it. Like, Tesla is not that far down. Like, if you go 5 years, it's actually up 700% in the
I was
past
just gonna
five
say it
years.
also peaked as soon as Trump got elected, so it's inherently gonna be
Yeah, but people are like, oh, it's gonna do horrible. No, people are buying the dip because they know Tesla is gonna be one of the greatest companies. Like, they're gonna do it. And then, so, with Tim Waltz. So, he's making jokes about how Tesla stock's going down. Everything that he passed as governor, so like all the teachers and all their like pensions and stuff, their retirement is all tied into Tesla stock. I heard about that and I was like, so you don't care about your people. Sounds about right.
no one should ever root for the market to go down. Like you
Never.
can tell if someone's uneducated when it comes to economics based on that. Like you want to see everything uptrend because there's absolutely no harm for an uptrend. Like unless like everything else is cratering and then you see like only like weapon manufacturers be like the ones uptrending. But
Yeah.
that's even that's rare. I mean, back during like even World War II and whatnot, you would see like certain stuff crash. Obviously, more the
Mm-hmm.
entertainment stuff. But then like industries used to also just change what they were doing. If we were
Yeah.
making a little knickknack, now we're making bullets for the war. Like, and then the
Yeah. I'm going from
industry
making
was still
Barbie
doing
dolls
well.
to making tanks.
Yeah, and then they just go right back to it after the war. People act like
Yeah.
we live in such a good time, like just peaceful time. Like people just don't understand.
True.
I say
So
that
yeah.
at you. I mean, I know you've probably seen more shit than I
No,
have.
it's like, yeah, I've been in the Middle East, but it's like, no, it was actually very peaceful because in so many other mostly conservative media outlets have said like during Trump's first term there was like nothing going on in the world. Like,
Yeah, not really.
we have the little proxy wars with Iran that we've had for the past who knows how long, like that's nothing new. But now it's just people think that the next conflict that we have, it's not gonna be Russia, it's not gonna be China, it's gonna be ourselves. It's
It
gonna be
it
like,
is. It's gonna
all
be
right.
the West itself is having the issue of when things come up once you start living in such a lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we've had that point now for a few years where you have people who can't relate to the real world. You got people who cannot understand the concept of like Ukraine fighting for their own territory or
Yeah.
Russia wanting to gain territory. Like these are things that were normal like a few decades ago. It's not
Yeah.
abnormal to expand your beliefs. Or even America, we after World War II, we wanted to expand democracy. Like that was
Yeah.
a thing. Like but now we live in such a time where people want to be isolated, but also want to help everyone in the world, and no culture is better than other cultures. But our culture want to help culture. Like it, we're at that time where none of our beliefs can really coexist,
Exactly.
and the political divide is getting bad in this country.
It is because like I feel like it's not as bad on the right. Maybe I'm a little biased, but like I've never really met people who just hate the left because they're the left. Like yeah, maybe they're stupid, but like you don't hate them. Then the left is literally like you can't be a part of us unless you hate Donald Trump. Like you have to hate Donald Trump, you have to hate conservatives, you have to hate this, and it's like why? You're just spreading hate culture. Like what's the point?
I hear Tim Pool says every once in a while, the right thinks you're wrong, the left thinks you're evil. Like that's the difference. We will look at someone and go, okay, I get your argument for. I know that we're gonna move on to a transgender story afterwards. Like I hear your argument on gender being like fluid, whatnot. I disagree with you. Whereas the right goes, oh, I hear you saying that you don't think gender can be fluid. You must be a bigot. You must be evil. You must hate.
Yeah, it's
people.
like
it's such a different level of hatred towards each other.
Especially since like you mentioned earlier, like the BLM movements and everything, that was like it's just crazy because they would be like, oh, so you don't support it. It's like, no, I don't support Antifa burning down cities. Like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't support that. And they're like, you hate black people. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I will criticize the right on one thing though. You do see that they'll change their opinions on stuff like on a dime as well. Because I remember the right going, they're never gonna take my diesel vehicle, I'm never gonna drive an electric car or whatnot. And then the second Elon started being like more right wing, it was, well, Tesla's the best company in the world. Like,
yeah, I do see that a lot, and sometimes it does happen with political shifts, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also just because like that was because I think they were more when the right says something, they say it kind of not super extreme, but they're like, you know, I don't like this at all. But then they're like, well, it's not that I hate it. It's just like
they're ignorant towards it.
Yeah.
And then once they know about it more, take gay marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, gay marriage, they were against. As soon as they got it legalized, I never really hear any Republican argue it.
Because it's not like... But then it led, like we talked about, I think, Wednesday, it led to that slippery slope, and it's just been going downhill since. But back to that, I feel like, so, they didn't like the electric vehicles before, because I think Biden and, like, they were just shoving it down your throat.
The hard push.
Yeah, and that's what made conservatives hate it. Because, so the left, they can't sit here and just, like, subtly kind of be like, hey, you know, this is something we need to do. It's like, everyone needs to do this, or you're, like, not patriotic, you're not American, like...
Yeah. Well, before we move off of the Tesla story, let's talk about the Tesla doxing website.
Yeah, I was just about to go to that. So, I believe it's shut down. I'm glad they're not posting URLs to it, because that's just bad. I'm gonna see if I can find one, but
it does say the name of the website.
Yeah, I know, but when I looked up the website, it did not.
Yeah, let me see if it's down real quick. Ooh, it's not secured.
I guess the website's not real is what Reddit's saying. I have not seen anything saying that it's not real, like from any news outlets, but... Which, I guess that would make sense. I would hope it's fake. You know what I mean? Like, I would hope it is.
Well, let's see what ChatGPT says.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's... So here, I'll start reading the article while you get some good information out of good old ChatGPT over there. So, a website, I don't want to say the name, because it's like, I don't want to... if it is real, you know, I don't want to sit here and spread it. So it's published the personal information of Tesla owners nationwide in an apparent bid to shame and intimidate them as Elon Musk's ties with... Like, it's just with his ties with the Trump White House have grown. It's like... So they're like, okay, let's go dox all these people's personal information because they supported Tesla, because the CEO is now friends and working with Trump. Like, that's stupid. So it reportedly reveals the names, addresses, and phone numbers of Tesla owners throughout the United States. And here's the kicker. the cursor is a Molotov cocktail. That is not. No, that is not okay. That's crazy to me.
Yes, it was a website. It was launched early 2025. What they try to argue is that they were a hub for information. So they were trying to do the almost like the Kiwi Farms thing of, we're not doing anything illegal. Illegal stuff just gets posted here type deal.
It just happens because of us. We're just enabling it.
It included not only where Tesla dealerships are, but people who own the Tesla by name, their address, their contact information, their work information. It showed where superchargers were so that people could attack charging stations.
Yeah.
It also doxed anyone who was an employee of the Department of Government Efficiency. So if you worked for Doge, you were on essentially a list of people to track. And they were trying to say that they were the ultimate hub of enthusiasts for the Department of Government Efficiency. It's like, okay, no. And they would take your information off the website if you sent them verification that you sold your Tesla products. So if you sold your Tesla products, you could send them information and they'll take your docs down. So that's as close to a terrorist list as I think you could get.
Yeah, that's literally like it's and then they're like, oh well, it wasn't us, but it's like, yes, you're enabling these left-wing nut jobs that are going over here and firebombing and shooting up Teslas for protests. That's not a protest. Go sit outside your Capitol yelling about how you don't like Elon Musk. That's fine. Go do that. I have no issue with that. They just did that in Lansing a few days ago.
Yep.
They did a Musk, not us. And I'm like, do I support it? No, it's not something I go for, but it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm going to go firebomb, I don't know, Ford now, because this is like...
The crazy thing is, though, you're going to have a point of... We're going to have a Rittenhouse situation again, where you're going to have this person who shoots someone else because they're bombing their car, and the whole argument is going to be, do you really kill someone over a Tesla? You value Tesla more than someone's life? And
it's like, no.
I'm just waiting for that. You know that's going to be an argument.
Like, they're sitting here trying to put bombs in Teslas. If I saw a guy putting a bomb in my vehicle, I would try to de-escalate first, but it's like, he put a bomb in my car. I get in that, I start it, I'm dead. That is an attack on my life. Like,
also, a natural person doesn't just know how to make a bomb. So this isn't someone just seeing a Tesla, getting pissed off, and going and attacking it. And I'm sure there's some of those. Some of these are like planned attacks of, I'm at home looking up where Tesla stuff is to make a bomb, to go do, like, that is crazy.
That is terrorism. Like, because it's planned too. So yeah, it's terrorism. Like, 1000%.
It's an obsession of hatred too. These people just are. It's weird that the second you get put on like that right list, all eyes are on you. Elon has the main focus, which is good for him because no publicity is bad publicity in my opinion.
Yeah.
But right now he has, and this is why you see people move so far to the right sometimes, is the second you are slightly right, everyone to the left of you attacks you, so you just keep moving a little bit more over. And then they go, well, I don't get why everyone moves to right. Why is Joe Rogan on the right now? Why is Elon on the right now? It's like, because you didn't let them do any right-wing stance at all. Like, the second they step out of line, you push them as far to the right as possible.
Whenever they
and then you can justify attacking them. Like,
whenever you don't do your agenda, their agenda, the lefts, they're like, we don't want you anymore. Tim Pool talks about that like every day. It's lost crazy.
It's scary right now because
it is. It really is. Like, if I want to go go to a Tesla dealership and see it, like, I just want to go look at a Tesla. I have that's one of the highest probabilities right now of me getting blown up, shot, or caught on fire. Like, just looking at a car. Like,
a Tesla in inner city right now is like one of the more dangerous things you could own. Like, that's crazy.
It's despicable behavior.
It used to be, when someone had a Tesla, like, the argument used to be like, oh, they have wealth. Like, it was like poor people kind of being upset about the wealth. Now it's not that at all. Now it's a political divide.
Yeah.
So now it doesn't matter. Like I said, the people apologized when they found out the one Tesla owner was black, because we weren't supposed to attack a minority group. But they just assume, well, this is a Tesla. It's probably owned by a rich white guy.
No, like I also don't think they understand Teslas are some of the most affordable vehicles. It's like they're $23,000 for their base
Yeah,
edition. 23,
people,
like
if you're gonna have a car payment too, a lot of people are going the electric route, especially if you're in cities. They are
yeah.
super cost beneficial in cities.
Oh yeah.
But let's move on from there. Let's you want to talk about transgender runner blowing
Yep,
out the competition?
and then we'll segue this into Assassin's Creed Shadows because they kind of fall hand in hand with that same
About the
little
woke BS.
that one will be kind of short. It's nothing too crazy. So, okay.
Yeah, you know more about that than I do, but
Yeah. So the same. So okay. So it's the same Oregon high school that came under fire last year for allowing a transgender athlete to compete against girls continues to blow away the competition 1 year later. Ada Gallagher, running as an 10th grader at McDaniel High School in Portland, finished first place in 200-meter and 400-meter races during the 6A1 Portland Interscholastic League Championship in 2024. Now an 11th grader, Gallagher was back on track for I'm just gonna say Portland school, but it's the Interscholastic League, whatever. So Portland League meet at her home track, where she was spotted blowing out the competition. That shit, it's crazy. So Gallagher finished at 57.62 in the 400 meters. So 57 seconds.
oh my god,
That's a male time. That is
no,
that is
that just that. Look at second place.
That's what I was. Yeah. Franklin High's Kinnelly. So that is a last name. I am so sorry. Sopenthong. That is a bad time. I'm so sorry. That is that's literally spelled Sopenthong. I feel so bad for you. But all right, so they came in second at a minute and 5 seconds.
She was the second best runner, so I wouldn't make fun of her too much. She's an athlete.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the average 400 meter.
Yeah,
average
for women's, because men's is like around. Yeah, I was gonna say male should be like around a minute is typically where it's where it's at. It should be a minute because I think I ran the 400 once and I was at like 107 or 106. I would have gotten third.
Oh wow. Okay, so for boys, a beginner or a novice, it says is about 60 to 70 seconds. So second place would be a beginner male.
Yeah.
A girl beginner is 70 to 80, so about 10 seconds off would be the average.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Exactly the distance between our runner and the second runner is about 10 seconds off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
For average, everything is about 10 seconds off of each other. It says for your elite, for a girl, it's about 55 seconds. So an elite girl in high school would not hit this record.
Yeah.
That this person made. Like, this person did 57.62. That is about as good as you get ever in a female class. Like,
yeah, so and both times for Gallagher, who's the transgender, they were season records. So that's just crazy. I do want to pull up the video. They have it on X here because it's crazy. Very low quality though. So all right, let me change scene. All right, let's watch this real quick.
All right, that's it.
Very low quality. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say lots of pixels. But, like, this is crazy to me that they're, like, the other girls are at the curve on the last stretch, and the transgender is, like, halfway through the straight.
Do you remember the swimming video? Where the girl swimmer is on, like, lapping people? It's like, this is just crazy.
Yeah, it's insane that... And, okay, so here's the thing. Gavin Newsom, one of the most left people you can meet. Like, he's very left. California's governor for the past, since he's been governor, he won and then got reelected, so like 6 years, something like that. But here's the thing. He said with Charlie Kirk, when Charlie Kirk was on his podcast, that he does not like the transgender thing with sports. He says it's not fair. So here's somebody on the left who says it's not fair. How much I want to bet he's not going to be their bid for president anymore. Because he said that.
It's going to be a hard one. Because the hard thing is, especially for the left, I actually kind of feel bad for them because they have so many stances. They almost have what the Republicans used to have, where the Republicans had like abortion and they had minimum wage. They had like a bunch of different stuff that kind of mattered. but they could lump it all under like conservatism or just like not changing the. Now the left has the issue that you have to be so pro-abortion, you have to be so anti-Israel, you have to be so anti-Russia, you have to be against war, but still somehow willing to fund every war that ever happened. Like they're in an impossible. And then, like you said, with the transgender stuff, you gotta go out there and both defend women who are afraid of men and defend men becoming women. Like you gotta defend both of those stances, and it's almost impossible arguments. So
yeah,
my issue with this is this runner would be an average male runner. So middle of the pack, like not even bad. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they couldn't even compete against the male.
No,
they'd be in the middle of the pack when it comes to male. So just race against the males. Like if there's
now they're the best.
Yeah,
but now they're the best.
No reason. by 10 seconds. Like it's not like, oh, that was a close race. You'll get them next time. These women behind her, they can't. Or I'm gonna say her because I assume they identify as female. They can't compete.
No.
Like there is no way to train for this the girl that you can't pronounce the last name of. For her to shave 10 seconds off her time, you are literally making her improve by a 20% margin.
Yeah.
Like if you do any sport whatsoever, if I could strike 20% more in bowling, I go from like a 150 bowler to like a 220 bowler.
Yeah.
Like it's such a big jump that they expect women to do now to compensate against a very small selection of people. Like, and this is just going to come down the pipeline because eventually, if you could define transgender people in a way, it would even make more sense. But the issue is, if I walk up to a tennis meet right now, I go onto the female tennis court, I go, I'm a female. What is your precaution of proving that I'm not? Because they say that they can't check my genitals. It doesn't matter that I have a beard. What if I say no? I identify as a female. I swear to God, I identify as a female. Put me on that court. How do you tell me no?
Like, I don't know. Soon we're gonna have to sit here and have, like, I mean, we have our gender on our IDs, but then they'll be like, well, you can also just get that changed.
And some states allow you to change it, some states don't.
Yeah, I don't think you should be able to change it.
Because I look at it's so weird because I look at race, gender, and age all the same way.
Yeah.
It's stuff you're born with. So sorry. If you don't like it, that sucks to be you. Like, I cannot identify as black, and if I ever said I wanted to, people will look at me like I'm nuts.
Yeah.
I can't go out and say I'm actually 18, or people look at me like I'm nuts.
Oh my god. Oh my god, there was a story about this. It was a girl at a bar. She was like 17, and she lied to a guy, and he hooked up with her, and he got statutory rape charges. But she said that she was 18, and so then afterwards, she says, well, I identify as 18. Like, I'm not even kidding. She says she identified as it. Yep. I identify as a legal adult. And they're like, what are you talking about?
but honestly, if you can change your gender, why can't... This is the slippery slope thing. Down the line, these words just mean nothing. And all gender was is a description. It's just to say, like, okay, especially in sports, it's to say, like, okay, you have a disadvantage over these people. Obviously, this person running has the average male running speed. They don't have a disadvantage against males. No. Go race against the males. Like,
yeah, it's because
I don't think they should be kicked out of sports. Just join the males.
Yeah, that's why Tim Pool said something that I kind of was like, okay, it kind of made sense. Like, I'd like to see it read out more. But he said there doesn't even need to be male sports. Do co-ed and female. Because co-ed can be male, female, and trans. Because some females, they could dominate men's. There are some. Like, there are some.
Few sports, but there's some that...
Yeah, there's some, like, track is a good one, for example. Like, there's some... Like, we had a girl that was long jumping farther than our guys could. Like, she could just do it better. But it's like...
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
And technically, that's what we do have. When we say men's sports, we talk about, like, MLB. Is that a men's sport? Well, not really. A female could make it. It's just, you're looking at the elite for even males.
Yeah, you're also, you're looking at, like, but you're also looking at a sport that women generally don't play. They play softball. Typically, they play softball. It's the same premise, but it's also, like, it's so different that it's Like,
But also, watch a baseball player on a softball field versus the other way around.
yeah,
Not only are the balls easier to hit, they fly further and they are weighted more, so they get more distance. You
yeah,
put any male athlete on a softball pitch, they're knocking everything out of the park. Like,
dingers.
yeah, some females can compete with the baseball. Like I said,
Yeah,
I think it's
100%.
cool when you have like a small school and it's like, well, for our football team to have enough players, we need like a female on the team.
That's
So we
fine.
have
I
a
have no
female
issue with
kicker.
that.
I'm okay with that 100%.
I think
I
women
just
should
don't
be
think
able
it
to
can be
play.
the other way around.
I think biological women, I want to clarify that. Biological women should be able to play any sport they want. Like,
Yeah.
let them if they want to. Like, I see no reason why, because technically they are at a disadvantage biologically. That is science. It's been proven a million times. And so biologically, they are inferior in strength. Typically. Like, there's always, but it's hard to say because science is never 100%. It's typical. There's always, and I'm going to use this word kind of loosely, but freaks. You know what I mean? People who don't follow the norm.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
I mean,
it's
look
weird.
at Michael Phelps. He's built to be a swimmer. Like, it's.
Yeah.
He naturally has a above average wingspan for a male, even. That gives him an inherent advantage. But some people are just born that way. Shaquille O'Neal is built huge.
He's huge, but he's not skinny.
Yao Ming.
Huge. He's a giant. Like.
Yeah, look at Yao Ming for like a skinny, just lanky person. I mean, there's different stuff. But the issue also is, I think, and I used to listen to a lot of people debate this. I don't think people realize how big the gap is between men and women on stuff. For even simple sports like bowling. Our girl bowling team was better than our male bowling team, even though we had the same average. Because men can put so much revs on a ball during a spin that when we go for like our angles, it's easier for a male to hit like a rougher angle. And it's like, you would never look at bowling and go, well, that's an athletic sport. It's not all about athleticism. It's also just reflexes. It's natural movement and how your body can repeat the same thing over and over again. Like, but
all right, let's segue into Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft's newest Assassin's Creed franchise. I played this last night. I did play some of it. It's not bad. It's a pretty good game, which it's just Assassin's Creed. You know, it's not like it's anything crazy, but they're getting kind of mad. So I'll read this this article. Just the name is "You Can Have Hot Gay Samurai Flings in Assassin's Creed Shadows" is the article name. So yeah, so it's returned with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and now you can make either one of your protagonists steamy gay. And it's just like, here's the thing. I don't really care if you add... They had this in Valhalla. You could be gay. It didn't bother me. But here's the thing. They're going off of people who are real. Yasuke, the black samurai in this, he was a real guy. He is real. And this pisses off Japan, because now you're depicting someone that's real, you know? And then they have the other character. She's not real, per se, but her father was. He's, like, the original ninja. So, like, it's cool concept, but it's also, like... And here's the thing, too. It's not just a gay person. They are... not... Okay, so Yasuke is also able to romance a character named Ibuki, who is non-binary. I don't know if this was a thing when we asked ChatGPT. Like, we're non-binaries in feudal Japan. Because they could have been. But I really don't think that was a thing. They did technically have stuff, but they were very, like, tucked away, it seems like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like what they say about
they're counting male actors playing female roles. That is not transgender. That's just a male playing a female. No, okay. Because this ChatGPT got confused there. But.
So, Japan has a huge, like, a good story about a woman or a female who wanted to be a soldier, so she pretended to be male. And ended up being, like, a fantastic soldier for the military. Like, that's a good story if you want, like, a female depiction. And I agree with you on this. Like, I don't care if there's, like, gay sex on a game or whatever. Like, I play as a female character.
Especially if it's optional.
I play as a female character anyway, so I typically don't care. But you can't have, like... It'd be like making, like, a Midwest story here and having the main character be gay and no one question it. Like...
Yeah.
Like, for the Midwest here, that was not cool at the time. Like no. I get the story you're trying to tell, or I know this would be a wild assumption. It'd be like having it like you're playing a Jewish player in like Germany during the 40s. It's
Yeah,
like
like what?
it's like, yeah, but we all get along. It's like, okay, then don't do a historical game. Just say this is a fake world. Like,
I mean, they
it
do
doesn't
say
have
that.
to
They
be
say it's
real.
fictional, but it's like they also Assassin's Creed has always thrived on being like showing realistic events in a fictional setting. So like so what people are saying like the left and everyone who's defending Assassin's Creed Shadows is bringing up Baldur's Gate. Because Baldur's Gate you can do anything, but I'm like that's also like a D&D game.
I was just gonna say, I
D&D
feel
in
like
a whole is pretty gay. Like it's like I love it, but it's like it's one of those things that's like because you can do anything you want. Like there's stories DMs have said where like the character makes a joke about wanting to romance a dragon. You know, they want to romance a dragon,
yeah.
so they roll for it, they pass it, and then he says roll again. He rolls again, he gets a low roll, and he's like, "Ooh, you're the bottom." You know, like it's it's
But
funny. Like
it
D&D can be anything.
the issue is also you need to know what you're going into. So like
True, yeah.
Valorant is a good example of
Hmm.
it's a game that has gay characters and whatnot that it does not shove it down your throat
It's not,
like
yeah,
at
no.
all.
If you
Like
want to
one
learn the lore,
favorite
you can.
character in it is a they them. Like I love Clove. Clove is my
Yeah,
favorite character to play and one of my favorite like storyline and talk wise. Like
yeah,
I like everything about them. But it's you're not starting every game with her and KJ making out or something. It's like okay, I know
yeah,
what I'm getting
exactly.
into. Like these
Yeah.
characters can be a little different, and no one complains about that.
Hmm.
When I go into an Assassin's Creed game, I'm looking for a game kind of somewhat historical. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
have to be perfect, obviously, but
Hmm.
it's no different than like it's how you advertise the game out. Like if I have a pirate
Yeah,
game and it needs to be a realistic pirate game, I expect to be like a Scandinavian, like a pirate. But if it's just
yeah,
a custom, like you can make your own character, do whatever you want, pirate game, then do whatever you want with it. But you need to
yeah.
advertise it in a certain way.
I
It
agree.
can't be somewhat in Japanese culture, but then ignore all of the actual like bad parts
Yeah.
of the culture. That
They
doesn't make
also
sense
had
to me.
they also had another controversy because they used real life shrines, and this was patched already, day one fix. But you could destroy the shrine. This is an
Which is
actual shrine in real life, which is very important. And I think it was in Kyoto.
sacred.
It's sacred. Yeah, it's like, and the Japanese government want to ban it, like the game, because of that. Because they're like, this is not okay. Like, you shouldn't be able to deface our sacred shrines. And I'm like, that's
The
makes sense.
the issue is people don't. It depends on the culture if they
Mm-hmm.
decide like if we're gonna ask for forgiveness or not. Like they know
Yeah,
like Japan will not. The worst thing they're gonna do is say like, "Hey, can you change this?"
yeah.
Whereas,
They
can
did.
you
They did do an
imagine if that
apology.
was like oh, what's the sacred temple in Muslim culture? The big giant like black box. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But go ahead. I can
There's like
imagine it.
a very secret symbol. Like you're not even supposed
Mm-hmm.
to touch it. You're not supposed to pray like so close to it. No person would ever put that into a video game and make that like a breakable thing.
Yeah.
Like you just know like that's controversial. So how
Oh,
does something
it's
like that?
the Kaaba.
Yeah, the
It's
Kaaba.
located in the center of Majid Al Haram in Mecca in Saudi Arabia.
That's
Oh
how I
yeah, because
spelled it.
Muslims pray towards Mecca. Okay, yeah, yep.
Yeah. So but can you imagine any video game ever coming out and being like, "Oh yeah, you can break this in our game." Like everyone would
Yeah,
just know, like that is a cultural. Fuck no. How do
you
you
should not do
study
that. Yeah.
anything in Japan and then put a statue in there that's like, yeah, this is sacred, but if you break it, break it. Like that shouldn't
No.
even pass testing at this point.
Yeah, they removed it, but it's like, why would you have it in the first place? Like, you can tell that's destructible. Like, why'd you
Because they
make it
knew
destructible?
if it was a controversy, they knew it wouldn't be a
Hmm.
big one. It's
Yeah.
certain cultures you're allowed to somewhat attack, somewhat not care about, because
Hmm.
you know they're not gonna. I don't want to use the term "come for your head," obviously, because I don't
Yeah.
want to insinuate anything with Muslim culture, but you know that that's not going to be the case. Like it's the same reason all anti-religious people will attack Christianity, but none of them goes after like any other religion.
That's
Like
true. Yeah.
I'm gonna go after the religion that I know is the least violent. Yeah, you guys are the bad religion, whatnot. And then you kind of ask them like, "Well, how do you feel about the Muslim faith?" I mean, anyone can have their own faith. Okay,
Yeah.
but all right,
All
let's
right.
move on to the biggest story today.
Oh yeah. The Board of Education. Okay, so I'll just start by reading. Oh God. Here, I'm just gonna have
Oh
ChatGPT
God.
summarize this. It's the actual executive order. I just want it to be summarized because it's a lot of mumbo jumbo. You know what I mean? So let's just good old ChatGPT to summarize the okay. All right. So on March 20th, 2025, President Donald J. Trump issued an executive order titled "Improving Education Outcomes by Empowering Parents, States, and Communities." The order aims to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, established in 1979, and transfer educational authority back to the states and local communities. Here's some key points. Closure of the Department of Education. The order mandates the closure of the federal Department of Education, asserting that federal oversight has failed to improve educational outcomes. It references recent assessments showing that 70% of 8th graders are below proficient in reading and 72% are below proficient in math. And then reallocation of functions. So responsibilities previously managed by the department, such as federal student aid programs totaling over $1.6 trillion, are to be reassigned to entities better equipped to handle them, potentially including state agencies or other federal departments. And the final point that ChatGPT gave me is funding compliance. The order emphasizes that any remaining federal education funds must comply with federal laws and policies, particularly those prohibiting programs promoting diversity, equality, and inclusion, or gender ideology.
So, this is going to be a topic. So, I want to run a few numbers by you just real quick, just so we have these numbers in each other's head. Taxpayers spent over $200 billion at the federal level on schools during the COVID-19 pandemic, on top of more than $60 billion they spent annually on federal school funding. So this is a huge portion of our federal budget.
Yeah.
And so I was curious. Okay, we give that much essentially to the department. Federal level schooling is what it says. Basically, the Department of Education. While the Department of Education does not educate anyone, it maintains a public relation office that includes over 80 staffers at a cost of more than $10 million per year. Each staffer would be making roughly about 7.2, like 700. It'd be 7,000 We'll round down. It's gonna be about 700,000 a year. So they're making about that much a year. It's double what the president makes.
Yeah,
to be in the Department of Education.
Like, obviously, it's a little bit different. It's like this person makes more, this person makes less. You know what I mean? But like, the average says that they're making that much. That is absurd. Like, who the fuck needs to make that much money? Nobody does.
By 80.
Like, nobody does.
It is actually over 100,000 a year. I might have one extra zero in there.
Maybe, yeah, but
it's
yes, I get it.
Insane amount of money.
Yeah.
So the Department of Education currently manages the student loan debt portfolio of more than 1.6 trillion. So where does that go? Who takes over that? This means that federal student aid programs is roughly the size of a national bank. They employ about 200,000 people. The Department of Education has about 1,500 in its student aid office. It's not a bank and must return. So that's going to be a curious thing, too. Is what happens to our federal student debt? It must just get moved to another department.
I think that is what it said in this summary, is that the funds are going to go to potentially other state agencies or other federal departments. But I don't know where.
So I think that could actually work out good, because say a state, all these Democrats who want to forgive student loans, perfect. Now it's on your state. So Michigan has this much in federal student loan debt. They'll receive it now from the federal government. Like, these are how much your people owe you. Like, because we were supposed to basically pay you, but we're not going to anymore. And if Michigan goes, well, we want to forgive student loan debt, now every Michigan resident, they should be able to pass that easily.
Yeah.
Because instead of 1.6 trillion, it's only going to be for your localized state, and they could just take it out of their state tax or raise it in their state taxes.
Yeah.
Like, blue states should actually be really happy about that. This might be the closest we actually get to actually forgiving student loans, if that's something that people are concerned
I feel
about.
like that's what I'm saying. And so, like, I have a CNN article that says 4 things to know. So here's the thing. It's talking about, like, low-income, rural, and disabled students could be impacted. Let's see the other point. Questions remain about management of federal student loans, which we just talked about. Let's talk about student loans. It should, if it goes to the state, that could work great. Local school curriculum won't be directly impacted by Trump's order because I guess the Department of Education does not have control over any curriculum in schools. I did not know that.
I think it's one of the things that they don't have control over it, but it's almost like how the federal government doesn't have control over underage drinking.
Yeah.
But they can make it where if you don't have your age of drinking 21, we're gonna tax the shit out of you, or we're gonna not provide taxes. I think they kind of have that power to basically hold schools by the balls, and you're gonna do what we want, but we don't have the authority to tell you to do what we want. But do you want your funding this year type deal? I could be wrong about that.
That's true, yeah. And it's cutting 50% of its workforce. I heard that too.
Good.
Yeah, like you said, they were spending so much money. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you gotta take over for a second. I'm gonna keep it filming. My stomach's killing me real quick.
Nope, you're good.
Hit up the restroom, so yeah, take over.
I'll take over. I could talk about this all night. So
good.
So we're also going to talk about what was the point of the Department of Education. Department of Education came out, I believe it was 1979. I'm going to make sure that Department of Education was originated in 1980. So all we have to do is go, okay, Department of Education comes out. Has American education rate gone down since 1980? Yes. Academically, our test scores have gone down since then. So national assessment, the national report card is lower. The international ranking, the U.S. has fallen in the global ranking, with American students consistently ranking behind countries like China, South Korea, and Finland in subjects such as math and science. Graduation rates in college readiness, high school graduation rates have gone up, but that's because the standards went down. So more people are graduating college or high school, but the high school degrees are meaning less and less. College readiness, SATs and ACT scores have declined in recent years, and many colleges report that incoming students are less prepared for the higher education. Like our literacy rate, I can barely read, and I'm one of the top levels in my school. Like, my reading was horrible, but my math was good. So I could specialize in like one subject, but they never focused on like, let's actually make it so you can read better. Because instead of specializing on the student, they just focused on everyone the exact same. So in a math class where I could sleep in the back of my class, wake up and pass any tests, the teacher would sit there and, you gotta do better. You should apply yourself. You should do better. And then in like English, I was struggling. I would get no help. Increased spending. We are spending more money than we've ever spent before on education for worse results. COVID-19 obviously has made it so numbers are a little bit sketchy in the last couple of years, but graduation rates have improved, yes. Have standardized test scores and academic performance declined, yes. And is the U.S. falling behind globally? Yes. So, the Department of Education did not do what it was supposed to do. It's almost like a socialist program. I don't say that as like a trigger word. The point of it was that we could take our lowest people and move them up a little bit, but as a result, everyone in the middle and the high range, we're going to just crater down. So more people are surviving, but no one is thriving unless you're in like a private school or whatnot. So the Department of Education, I think people think like the Department of Education is going to get eliminated and like all schools are just done. That's not how this works. It just brings the funding back to the states, which means if you want your kid to have like a great future, and you know like Michigan has a great schooling system and great rates, but Ohio sucks at it, you might move from Ohio to Michigan. This is competition. Competition in business is the best for its like employees. It's the best for the market. It's the same way with the school system now, where we have 50 states that can all do their own things. Like we were talking about, our state, Michigan, might go, oh, we can forgive student loans now. It's our own civilians. Yeah, you guys don't have to pay it back. And suddenly we have our federal student loans are gone. That's possible with the Department of Education gone. Like, that's possible now. And then Michigan could focus a lot on the education program, and we might become one of the best educated states. Which, if so, that attracts families to come in and use our education system. And then California, their education system sucks. People might leave there because they know my kid does have a future here. Like their competition is good. And what federalism was supposed to do is allow all 50 states to compete with each other. At the time, it wasn't 50 states. All 50 states now could compete with one another, and whichever one's the best, they could work off each other. If Idaho is the worst at something, California's the best at something, we could specialize in that. We can, okay, well, let's make you more like California. But Idaho might be better at something else than California. California can learn from that. Like, Trump is going to make it where blue states are more blue, red states are more red, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So, the Trump administration, I will say though, and just because I'm going to be consistent across the board, I hate executive orders. I think they are overdone. They've been overdone since Obama. Then Trump did too many. Then Biden did way too many, and now Trump's doing more again. So, welcome back.
I was listening. I had my headset. I was listening. One thing I wanted to add. So you were talking about like, yes, our graduation rates are higher. It's also because many states, and this might be every state now. It might be federal. I'm not sure. But the like, no child left behind. You can straight up fail everything, and you can't be left behind because it's discriminatory. So, like, you can just suck at school, and they won't hold you back anymore.
I've told my nieces, to pass high school, you just turn everything in. It doesn't even have to be done.
But here's the thing, too. That's the same thing with college now, too.
Yep.
Like, literally, college is... That's why people call it a joke, especially on the right. It's because you're doing nothing, and you're getting a piece of paper, except all you're doing is paying these institutions, like, $100,000 for your 4 years, and then it's like, good job, go enjoy this piece of paper that means nothing.
Yeah, that you could have just got in the workforce, or they're going to train you out of your bad habits anyways. Like, it makes no sense. Our system is screwed up right now.
It really is, also, and I hope this can help. I really hope this can help. Do you know, does the Department of Education affect college as well, besides just student loans?
I think it affects, like, the federal funding of university, like...
Okay, because that should be... Because here's the thing, too, with... So... just student loans in colleges, it's like you were saying with Michigan could also now do benefits for in-state if they control the student loans. They could be like, hey, usually the interest rate is, let's just say 27%, really high, you know, for your student loans. But if you're a Michigan resident and you go to a Michigan university, your student loan's only going to be 10%. You know what I mean? It's incentivizing it. Yeah, they could use that power.
And especially, like I said, imagine two states competing with each other at an educational level. Like, people from Ohio might come to Michigan if Michigan has a better educational system than Ohio. Like, it's something to compete.
Yeah, school choice has always been amazing for like.
School choice is amazing.
It really is, because you should be able to choose. Like, so there's people who live like 20 minutes away from, like, that's how when my kid's born, you know, when they're going to school, they're going to be going to a school that's 20 minutes away, and without school choice, that would not be an option. You have to be in the district. You have to live there. That shouldn't be a thing. If the parent wants to take their kid to a different school, why stop them?
Yeah, and you can set standards, obviously, like that school buses only go so far out. So if you want your kid to go to school, you would have to fund the... like, or you would have to fund it. Like,
it's just...
But yeah, if you could get your kid to the door of a school every day on time, I don't see any reason to tell that kid, no, you have to go to the Celestial school.
That's stupid. I'm so glad that Michigan, at least, has been like that. Even if that was picked up by Democrats, I don't care. That is great. I don't care who did it. That is a great thing because it gives us more freedom and choice, which is what America stands for.
Well, like I said, too, the issue is the cultural divide. You got people in the country, I'm going to describe it this way, and half the people are going to agree with me on one end, and the other half are going to agree with me on the other. The whole point of the Department of Education is they pulled everyone at the bottom and pulled them up a little bit. But to do so, they cratered everyone in the middle and the top.
Yeah.
Some people look at that and they actually go, well, yeah, that's more fair. That's a good system. Other people look at that and go, well, why the hell do I have to get cratered so that these people can be lifted just a little bit? Like, some people, I hate saying this because especially Democrats hate hearing it. Some people will not succeed in life. Some people just won't.
They just won't.
Like,
but we can do everything in our power to help try to guide them towards doing something. Like, not everyone's made for college. We still need people who want to go work in sewers. You know, we still need that. And if that's what you do, good for you. You know, like, go for it.
Or trash collection, stuff like that. Like,
and
those jobs should be respected. I don't care.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
feeding
look
your
down on
family.
anyone. If somebody's working and they're able to, like, if they're able to work and they're working, I'm good. Good for it. Like, I
I
respect you. You're going for it.
I would change the entire job system if I could. There should be
Yeah.
stuff like I think if you work Saturday and Sunday, it should automatically be a raise. Whatnot. I think if you work past like 4 o'clock, it should automatically be a raise because there should be some. What I hate is the idea of like me having like a 9 to 5, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't. By the way, I work all fucking day trying to make content and make no money. but but if I work like a 9 to 5 and I get out and then like at 8 o'clock at night I'm going to like a Taco Bell, you don't realize like okay that Taco Bell employee might not be working as hard as your 9 to 5, but he's now here at such an inconvenient time just so you could
Yeah.
get food.
When
Like
I was at Taco Bell, like, I was told that I was gonna have to be there till 4:30 in the morning sometimes,
mhm.
5 a.m. And it's like that's fine because we're like it's a convenience thing, like you said. It's like, but people, yeah, it's just it all
But
boils
people used to
down.
have the leverage to like argue this stuff. Now with unions and stuff, a lot of people can't even argue like
Yeah.
well, no, you come in at like a base. This was one thing when I became a manager at my college's food system. They they were like, well, you have to start at this pay. I basically told them, no, you're giving me a pay cut to work more hours. They're like, yeah, but you make more money since you can work more hours. I'm like, that's BS. But they would say that to people like, no, this is like default. You have to sign it. I said no, and they gave me my raise. Like people
Yeah.
don't realize that you can argue like it's supposed to be like you and your boss can sit there and go, I want to be paid this much. I think you're worth this much, and you have that conversation. Nowadays,
Yeah.
people don't even realize you can talk to your boss about pay.
Yeah, people are
Like,
afraid of confrontation now. Like they're just, which sometimes I understand. Sometimes you don't want to blow something that, like, if you've been unemployed for a while, you've been searching for months, and you
mhm.
finally nail a spot. I'm not gonna argue about money. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. But like you said,
Yeah,
going from this level to this level and making you're losing money should not be a thing.
and it's common. It's very common. Like
It is.
Domino's
Yeah.
also had that issue too of, well, you get this much of a pay increase. Cool. You're also cutting all my tips out to be a manager. Like
Yeah.
I make this much in tips. You're only offering me this much. Yeah, but it's more consistent. Yeah, but I'm good at my job. I know my averages. But how many people just see
Yeah.
that 75-cent raise and they think, oh my god, that's great, and then they're in it for a couple months and they go, really, my paychecks haven't increased much.
Yeah.
Like people will fall for it. It's the but
But everything
that's
that we've
when
talked about all boils down to respect nowadays just being kind of gone. Like, I respect, like, I see a police officer. I respect them. Like, I
yep
respect what they're doing. Everything. The astronauts, like you mentioned the other day that Elon brought
yep
down, I respect them. They're over here sacrificing their life and everything that they know. I found out they were supposed to be there for 8 days. And they were there for 9 months.
that's
That
just
is absurd. Like,
the issue is, I'm gonna go back to the privilege thing. People don't
hmm
realize like having the lights on is such a mandatory thing for us now,
hmm
and there's hundreds of people working on it that you don't ever think about. And then when your power
yeah.
goes out, you think, oh my god, my life sucks. How dare they like
Yeah,
my
people get
power's out
pissed at
during a
DTE.
snowstorm. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's like these people are working in the middle of a snowstorm to try to fix this. Like,
but people can't look at the bigger picture of anything. Like
never.
take cops, like you said for cops for example. Everything I see on cops on like Facebook and whatnot, it's them abusing people. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm going into the real world. I'm thinking every cop abuses people. That is such a low percentage. 95% of their job doesn't even involve that. It's just like pulling
Yeah.
someone over and going, "Hey,
Le-
don't speed."
yeah. Left media is like 95% the 1% and 5% the other 99% of something. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
just
They only show the bad. Like, why can't you show the good? Like, a cop helped an old lady that fell in the street. Something like, you know what I mean?
because if they
Like,
do, they even have to turn that. There was the video of the cop that pulled over a guy who was rushing for a job interview, like a
hmm
22-year-old white kid, and the cop helped him tie his tie for him.
yeah.
And they're like, "This is what white privilege is. A black person would have to be afraid of being killed by that cop. But
Oh
that
my
cop was."
god.
It's like, and even like I don't know if your parents ever taught you. My
Mhm.
parents taught me when you get pulled over, both hands on the wheel. Ask
Yeah,
before
you
you
kind of
reach in
just
the glove
learn
box.
it. Yeah, you just kind of.
Yeah, like that. But when I talked about that in like college, they made it seem like that was only a black conversation. Black
No,
parents had
everyone
to have
should do
that with their
that.
kid. Yeah, that's to me. I was always But I'm also, maybe it's because I'm a bigger guy. Like, to me,
Yeah,
it's
like,
a cop's gonna come up to me and go, I don't want to wrestle that guy to the ground. I
well,
want
yeah,
to.
but also with like me, right? They run my plate, which they obviously do before. They don't run your plate after they talk to you. No, they run your plate, they turn their lights on, and they pull you over. And so they know I have a CPL. They could be edgy.
Yep.
They could be jumpy because they know there could be a pistol in that car. So it's easier just for me to chill here, like, do whatever. Like, as long as they can see your hands. It doesn't necessarily have to be here. You don't have to sit here and put your
Yeah.
hands out the window every single time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just keep them
It
somewhere.
depends where I am.
Don't sit here.
I'll be honest, like in Detroit, if I got pulled over, I might do the hands out the window thing. There's certain places
Maybe, yeah.
that I would do it. But my whole thing is I want you comfortable too. Because
Yeah,
like you said that, how often do you read something of like, well, if you're that scared that they're gonna have a gun, you shouldn't be a police officer. It's like, that's a fraction of a second.
No,
you're shot.
You should also never be fully fearless. Because then you lose, like, brains. You should always have that little bit of paranoia that's like, hey, this could happen. I need to be prepared for this.
Like, I wish everyone, this is one thing our education system should teach, though. There should be, like, a day where you have to watch cop videos. And it's like, fraction of a second. Like, they literally pause the screen. What happens here? This cop gets shot, and you never even saw the gun originally. Like that way, as a civilian now, I go into the world and I go, okay, I know what that cop deals with. Or have a day where the doctor, like, you see a doctor react to losing a patient during a surgery.
Realize how stressful,
this is a 90% accurate surgery that 10% of the time, your person dies. That family now looks at the healthcare system and goes, well, they screwed us. They said it was 90% chance. Like, 10% chance something goes wrong.
Yeah, you still have a 10% chance. Sadly, your husband or whoever was in that 10%. Like,
but parents don't teach their kids this anymore. So the school system should pick this up a little bit. And I think with gun training and whatnot, you don't need to have, like, actual guns in the... But every kid should know, like, how a gun works.
Going to. They're going to know how to use it. They're going to know how to properly hold them. You see me, I'll pick up a drill. Like a normal drill, my finger's above the trigger. Like, it's just a habit. Like...
To me, it's... Or even just the... Like, I don't fear a gun by any means. But I know, like... To just, like, if one's sitting at the table, I'll turn it where people will not be sitting. Or, like...
Yeah.
Just basic stuff where it's like, okay, if this misfires for no fucking reason, where is it pointed to? Where is it aiming? Where is it? Or if someone breaks into the house, I always know, like, okay, my access to that gun has to be quicker than their access to my door. Like, there has to be like, and these are basic stuff for people who know it, but there's entire people, like, when I lived in Saginaw, I would tell people, like, when I went to school, half the people had shotguns in the back of their truck because they were hunting before school.
Yeah.
And all my friends from Saginaw who come from, like, bigger cities, to them that was the most foreign thing in the world. You guys had guns on the school premises? Like,
that used to be allowed. Like,
I never even thought about it. It wasn't even allowed, but it was just...
Yeah, it was just something that nobody thought of. Like,
you went...
You're out there hunting from 6 to 7. School starts at 7:45. You know, you get ready, you go to school. Like... Yeah,
most of the time your clothes were already in your truck. Like, you go switch into your other clothes and you go. Like, I never once thought to myself, like, oh my god, there's gonna be an argument at school. Someone's gonna go out to their truck, grab a shotgun, come back in. It's like, no. Like,
I feel like the fact that they also like, I don't know if this is fully a factor, but it's something to talk about. So, like, obviously media coverage exists, and it's good. It's good that they're showing, like, these horrible school shootings when they happen and everything, but then there's these little kids that they're shoving it down their throat a bit, and then it's like, or nowadays, like, kindergartners are having to do shooter drills. Like, that's gonna make them think about it more. Think about, like, you know what I mean? Like, these little minds, like, it starts influencing them in a way that could turn bad. Like,
the issue is, though, no one actually wants a solution, because what is the solution there? It's... You can't have a gun-free zone because it's always going to be the easiest target for any terrorist type action.
Exactly.
I count most school shootings as, like, terrorist action. The ones where you're not a student and you go in, like, to me, that's a terrorist act at that point.
100%. Yeah.
Stuff like the Uvalde incident from a few years back. To me, that's a terrorist attack. You're going to aim at a gun-free zone. So what you do is, if it's a gun-free zone, for the amount of people in it, you should have that much security. So for every 100 civilians that are going to be in place, you should have one security guard or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, take like a sports stadium. You got 20,000 people. Okay, you need that many security guards, or you just allow
Yeah,
open
usually
carry.
they do.
Yeah,
Like they have
you
snipers
should.
on the roof. People never see them. Every football game, they have snipers aiming in, scanning the area. Like,
But they will talk. You will say to someone, they go, "Well, I don't want my kid to feel like they're being educated in a prison." It's
mm-hmm.
like, but that's the safety. Like, there's no other. Like, even my mom worked at the hospital. I would go in after tennis practice with a tennis bag that was about the size of a rifle bag, made
Yeah.
of metal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
they just allow you to walk into these places.
Yeah,
Okay,
because they
then
know
what
you.
is the solution? You're
Like,
not banning the gun.
Yeah.
Because if I mean, a machete could do just as much damage in a classroom. I mean,
Yeah.
what's your actual solution?
I agree with security. I think there should be a security office. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even just something as simple. Every
They
student
don't have
needs
to
to go in one entrance. Like,
yeah.
and then
I can understand that too. Yeah.
My school. I mean, you could go in back doors midway through the day.
Yeah, there's schools everywhere in the one. There's doors everywhere in the school I work for. Like, there's a back door right here. There's a side door right here. You go down the hall right here. There's another side door.
We'll prop them open. We'll prop them open. Like,
yeah, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's and the sad thing is, you take something like the Uvalde incident. How long are these people allowed to be in the schools before they're taken out? 5-10 minutes. That's 2-3 classrooms worth of people. I mean, that's these shootings are massively deadly. So what's the solution though? And no one actually cares about a solution because one side will just go for the gun, and the other side will just go, well, I don't even really know what the right solution is because the right is always on the defense, trying to make sure the left doesn't take their guns.
I understand having like I don't really like I understand people saying like I don't want them to be raised in a prison. Okay, you don't want them seeing some armed security guard, but have that guy in an office with like you know what I mean? Like he's watching the cameras. It's like an actual security officer for the school. It's not like he's sitting here patrolling. He doesn't need to patrol all the time. Have cameras, have him watching those, and he can be armed so that if something happens. He should have a secure line directly to the police to get them there faster, and then just you know what I mean. Like it would be so much faster, but schools won't do that.
Even do something like that, and then make it where teachers can be trained. They're allowed to have like concealed, whatnot. If they want, they don't have to be. And then even like you said, if that security guard's office, whatnot, have a few different guns in there, and have it like next to the principal's office. Something goes down, all the staff of the principal's office, whatnot, they should all be required to be trained. And it's like, okay, you basically have a task force.
Like you don't have to sit here and hunt them down.
It's not even crazy.
You know what I mean?
Like to me, that's not.
It's not that crazy. But teachers are kind of. Some of them are crazy, so it's kind of.
They are.
And a lot of them are liberal too. So good luck getting them to take the class. But I think that should be a thing. I think it should be a thing where they're allowed to be. But then it's such an iffy like you know what I mean? Because then it's like. Because then you think of like it's gonna happen. Like if that happens, it's gonna be one time. I think Colorado just legalized that actually. But so one bad thing happens, and then the left just attacks guns. Yeah, you know what I mean, and it's gonna be horrible.
The one time someone's concealed carry and they let it down like under their desk or something, and a student gets it and is playing with it or something like they're
like
you're gonna have instances. But again, it's the topic needs to actually be how do you prevent.
Yep. I'll be back in one moment.
Like,
I think the Ford guy who's doing work on my truck is here real quick.
No, you're good. But that's going to be an issue that we just have in this country right now. And like terrorist attacks in general, they're going to happen. Anything like these are going to happen. And like I said, taking the gun away, they're going to switch to other weapons. Honestly, it's scary to think about because other countries don't have this issue, but other countries don't have the mental illness issue that we have. They don't have the conviction of violence that our country has. Like we need to start from the source, and the source is all right, how do we prevent these from happening? And honestly, I think just the idea of they have guns there will prevent a lot of school shootings. Or if a student goes in and knows like I'm not getting away with this, if I start a school shooting, there's no way I'm leaving that premises, I think a lot more people won't do it. The issue is you have so many people who can go in there. Take there was a Florida shooting a few years back that the kid took out like a ton of kids, walked out and got arrested, like put his hands up on that. So he's gonna be in jail the rest of his life. He doesn't see that as punishment. He already knew that was gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, but it's
no, you're good. Basically, just saying that there has to be. I want it to be that if you ever think I'm gonna go shoot up like a gun-free zone, I am gonna be I'm not gonna get what I want. I'm gonna be dead before I even get into the premises.
Yeah, like especially when you look at USCCA, like the concealed carry like organization, they have stats for Michigan, and like almost 10% of Michigan residents have CPLs. But like you don't see, like, you show that to somebody in the left, they're like, oh yeah, because look at all the violence everywhere, and I'm like, it's actually gotten a lot better. Like,
even go to a protest and you see people holding their long rifles. I never blink. Like Christina, still
no.
my girl, she a lot of times will, like, you can tell she gets nervous. She'll sit there and watch it. I don't even think twice.
I think if you're protesting with it, you should not have a magazine in it. If you have a magazine in it, that's different. That's like, you should be taken down. You should be, because you don't know, there could be ammo in that. You could, you know what I mean? I understand that, but if you just have a rifle, even if you have, like, they have bolt blockers, this little thing that sits in there to prove that it is not, there's no round in there. I think that should be required. Which, like, you know, I'm a gun guy, but I'm saying, like, I understand, because that's public, you know, that's public safety. You shouldn't, like, I'm all for constitutional carry, but it's like, you shouldn't, like,
even just make it where a cop can go up and check. Like, hey, can you show me what's, like, that's loaded? Like,
and then people don't, they shouldn't throw a fit. They should know how to use it. They should just rack it back or bolt, you know,
because you see a lot, in Florida, I always have an issue with these videos. If you're going to fish, you're allowed to open carry. Like, hunting or fishing, you're allowed to always have an open carry. Like, it's something weird. It's one of those, like, probably made sense back in the olden days, but now it's kind of like a weird law. But, so people will carry, like, a rifle and whatnot, right down to a beach in, like, a city, and they'll get, cops obviously will ask them, like, hey, listen, we're getting a lot of calls about you and that, and they'll, well, you guys should know the law. You guys should know the law. And it's one of those situations, like, you are purposely causing an issue, but you are technically right about the law. Like, you're making us look horrible for the stance. You're trying to make the cop look bad, but so many people are watching this going, why the hell do you have a gun out? Just to go fishing?
Don't need it. Like,
obviously,
just because it's your right doesn't mean you need it. Like, I have a right to carry my rifle everywhere, pretty much. Like, there's a bunch of places. Do I do it? No. Like,
no, and the issue is, you want more people to be, like, gun enthusiasts. You want more people to, and when you do shit like that, you're not turning people on, you're turning people off.
Exactly.
The only people who are backing you are the anti-cop people who already agree with you. Like, that's one thing I wish people would stop doing. And as soon as you notice it with everyone. Half of debates and arguments are people literally will say something just to turn around to people who already agree with them and go, am I right, guys? It's like, okay, so you're not here to convince anything. You see it with the abortion argument.
You're here to impress your party or your affiliations.
Yeah. If you're having an abortion argument and the person ever says to you, my body, my right, immediately you know they're only saying that to tell you what group they're in. Because if I already agreed with that, I would be on your side. So you're only saying that so that your side agrees with you. It's the same with the gun law. How do you stop school shooting? Well, I'll just ban guns. Am I right, guys? It's like,
they always turn around like, hey.
Yeah, you're turning to your own group who already agrees with you. That's not what a debate should be. No. I want to drag people into the right. I want more people in. I want people like in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I feel like most of the right is. They're pretty moderate. I would say moderate right. And then there's obviously there's cuckoos. You know, there's cuckoos on both sides. But
people hate to admit it. A lot of these Trump voters are Obama voters.
They are. A lot of them. Yeah.
And a lot of them are probably going to leave next election when we don't have Trump on the ticket. Like, that's...
Yeah,
we need to be prepared for that. Republicans are not popular. Trump's popular.
Yeah.
And Republicans need to realize that shortly, because J.D. Vance needs to really pick up where Trump left off, because if not...
I do like that this time...
Who's on our bench?
The vice president under Trump is actually doing something. I see him at every meeting. Vance is there. He's talking. He's not just sitting there in the back like this. No, he was talking to Zelensky. He was grilling Zelensky. Pence, I never saw Pence once. I never saw Pence, like, at all.
And look at Kamala. Kamala, when she was...
I never saw her.
Doing it. Like, never. She
until,
didn't even go to the
until
border
election time.
Only because she got pushed there, If she didn't have to take over for Biden, I don't think she ever was showing her face. Like,
she didn't have to.
The scary thing is, though, let's talk a little bit about that before we log off here, is what do we see in the future here? We have J.D. Vance on our side.
Yeah.
Who do you see on the Republican bench? Say say Trump has a bad presidency, so we don't want JD Vance. Who do we bring up? Who's our next in line?
I think, oh, God, I'm trying to think of good right-wing people. I think they could do Ramaswamy. Isn't he American? Can't he run?
I don't know if he. Well, he did run, didn't he?
I don't remember. I don't remember actually who.
Because
who
Ramaswamy
ran,
was
so.
up there with essentially doing the Trump arguments against DeSantis and Nikki Haley.
Oh yeah, we're never gonna hear of her again.
Nikki Haley, no, I think
No,
anyone who went after Trump, I think just killed their momentum.
Yeah, like, and that's why I like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK doing what they did. They were like, I
Tulsi
just
has
want
a chance.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, 100%. I think she's gonna be up there. I don't think RFK will run again. He might run with Tulsi or something. You know what I mean? For like namesake. I don't think he'll do it.
I don't see him as like a vice or anything.
Yeah.
One issue is, I hate identity politics. Let me start with that too. Democrats cannot have the first black and the first female president. Republicans need to get a female on the bench here soon.
Yeah, but I also hate that, like, they have to do, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they have to do that.
No, that shouldn't be a thing. It should be, so, okay, I asked ChatGPT, and the top, okay, it's still punching them out. So top okay, so I'll just start going through. JD Vance, obviously yes, JD Vance. Then they have
probably is going to
Ron DeSantis. And then we have, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Senator Tim Scott, Governor Glenn Youngkin, Marco Rubio.
So all the names that they've already...
Sarah Sanders, Brian Kemp, Kristi Noem, Vivek Ramaswamy. Ooh, I forgot about this. Donald Trump Jr. said he wanted... I forgot, because he was going to run for governor of Michigan, too, so he might not now.
Here's the deal. If you do Trump Jr., have him be the vice for Vance.
100%, because that's going to get the Trump people back. That's going to get,
Yep. It keeps people on the bench. It keeps a Trump name on the ticket.
And then it's not just some random guy being president again. You know, that didn't work out too well last time.
Most likely presidential, because, let's see what the Democrats
and then the left, I think it's going to be Newsom and Whitmer. I think. Because Whitmer's up there. The left, she's already, you see what she's been posting? She posts stuff, she's not even in Michigan. She hasn't been in Michigan in like 3 weeks. She's in like honestly, Tucson, Arizona. Like, she's pre-campaigning.
I think she would have been if it wasn't for Kamala. Yeah. I don't think she wanted to run with Kamala.
I think so too.
I think they should have picked her, and I would have ran, if I was the Democrats in 2024, I would have ran Whitmer with Newsom as her vice.
Yeah, they would have won.
You get the woman against the man. You can still do your identity politics.
Yeah.
You have a white male on the ticket that isn't a crazy Tim Walz. Like, yeah. But now, what I would have done is ran Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
The middle Democrat, another swing state Democrat. They didn't put him on the ticket because he's Jewish. I'm pretty sure, not just because he's Jewish. The last name Shapiro, I think too many people associate with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I think Josh will always have that disadvantage. But right there, I think if we have to prepare for the Democrats, you got to prepare for Kamala to come back, which would be the easiest run ever. Gavin Newsom, which California sucks and lost a lot of its population. I don't see him running as the actual president. Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, and AOC. Those would be the 5. I can
see it.
You can make your ticket off of those 5 people. Like, yeah. And as long as you don't put Kamala on the top, I think Republicans win every single one of those.
I think they will, though.
You think they're going to run Kamala again?
I think so, because she did get a lot of votes. She really did. But it was also just anti-Trumpers, and now that Trump's not going to be there,
yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen. Ticket. I really don't know what's going to happen. Simple as that. Like, for 2028.
It also depends where the parties go. Like, the Trump party is obviously going to... It's kind of going to do whatever it wants. I don't think you're going to lose a lot of Republicans, no matter what you do. So
no, I think you're just going to gain more.
Yeah, it's who can the left pick up, and I think they need to move to the middle to do so. So stay away from the Gavin Newsom, stay away from
Yeah.
the Kamala Harris. I would run Whitmer Shapiro or Whitmer or do a full female ticket. Go full
That's
identity
fine.
politics. Whitmer
That's fine.
AOC, and then just call everyone who don't vote for them sexist. Like,
Yeah,
then it doesn't
well,
matter if you lose.
I think they would have won if they ran Whitmer instead of Kamala. I think they would have won.
Oh yeah,
Even with dumb Tim Walz, I think they still could have won. Like,
I argued this in 2016 too. The only person Trump could have beat on the Democrat side in 2016 was Hillary Clinton.
yeah,
Democrats fully wanted to go from the first black president to the first female president. And they looked at the board and they went, we can win with everybody. So let's just pick our worst player, put them on. And then, we get the female vote, though. We get the female president. So they put her on the field, the only one that Trump could beat.
Yeah,
and then I think they did the same thing at 24.
People already hated her. Yeah, because everyone already didn't like Hillary Clinton. She has the Benghazi stuff. Her husband's fucking a wacko. Like,
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you though. Bill Clinton has one of the better presidencies, even though
did.
the motherfucker got impeached. Like, he would be running as you run his platform now. You're not just a Republican. You're further right than Trump, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in, like, Republican stances.
Yeah,
like,
I saw a meme the other day. So like, it was the video of like Trump touring someone through the White House, and they had his Coke button. You know, and he hit it, and they brought him a Coke.
The
Biden had the ice cream button. Bill Clinton had the Monica Lewinsky button. And I was like, oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, we'll talk more and more about the state of this country as we go on. But I think we're at an hour and a half here, basically. So
yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's pull up another holiday.
Yeah, let's end with another holiday.
Since we spoke about the Department of Education, today is actually Education Freedom Day. So Trump did technically, when you think about it, he is releasing the freedom of education. So, just saying.
It's Crunchy Taco Day. I'm excited for Soft Taco Day. I'm a soft taco guy. How about you?
It kind of depends. I can do both. I like the Doritos tacos, like the ones from
Dorito Loco tacos. The Cool Ranch ones were not as good as they should have been.
I didn't have that, but yeah, it's Crunchy Taco doesn't bother me per se, but yeah, soft is I can just fucking it's gone. Like, especially from Taco Bell. Yeah, they're so tiny.
Oh yeah, there's just nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to them. I wish they were cheaper, but other than that. But yeah, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for watching, and please follow us on all of our social media, and especially hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Or Spotify, or wherever you're watching this at. All right. And recording.